All right, I'm too excited to wait for the full countdown. Let's just go live already. Tim, it's good to see you once again. There's no way it's been 2 weeks. There's no way.
No, time flies, doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah. Well, we have a fun conversation, but before we start, I have a couple of quick announcements. One is I'm writing an article for No Jitter, um, your association with. So it wraps around, and it actually wraps around in two ways because you inspired me for the topic. I decided to write based on I think our last stream or the stream before, it might have been the last one, online canvases.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Yeah, I wrote a really big article of all about online canvas, basically our discussion. I mean, I should give you co-author credit on it, but it's going to be up on No Jitter, and I'm so excited to be working the staff at No Jitter, the editor that I'm working with. Amazing, just amazing people, great experience, and it's just, it's a nice thing for me, a nice association for me because No Jitter is No Jitter. So I think this is my second or third piece, and it seems like we're gonna have a lot more. So I'm just pleased, excited, proud to announce
Excellent.
that. Another quick announcement is you might notice behind us we have a new device. This is a Crestron Video Bar 70. Let's Do Video is now working with Crestron. We'll be putting out some videos together. I've been meeting with the team. We did a kickoff meeting. They're amazing. I love them. And, they're when you work with a company like Crestron, it's great because you get all the gear. We have the Flex audio pods at the back. It was hard to hear people, a little bit hard to hear people sitting at those chairs at the back, and of course the video bar. And they don't even know I'm doing this. This isn't a paid for commercial or anything. They're gonna be like, David, we didn't ask you to do this, but I'm just had such a good time with them. But I just want to say one nice thing about this: the differentiator. A lot of video bars are for the medium small spaces. This one's designed for the big rooms. All right, that's it. That's it. Okay, so moving on. What were we going to talk about today? Oh, we were going to talk about Microsoft Places. Where
Yes,
is it?
it's missing in action. It's a place without a place at the moment. It
I
was
was trying to
announced
think
in
of a good
October.
pun. I'm
Uh,
struggling because it's called Places, and we can't find the place where it is.
no, maybe
Yeah.
it's in the maybe it's in that world in Stranger Things. I don't know, but it was announced in October 2022, of course, and it's been in beta preview coming soon for a year, which to me is not soon, but it seems like a missed opportunity, really, because it initially started talking around the return to office, which I almost feel like that argument's gone away now. I think, there is no return to office. The future's hybrid. Hybrid is the way now. Whether or not you happen to be in the office 4 times a day, sorry, 4 times a day, 4 times a week, 3 times a week, 2 times a week, or you need the flexibility to have that business continuity anyway, all that infrastructure change has largely taken place, with the exception of how on earth do I get a desk when I need one? And if I'm in the office with David, how do I make sure I'm sat next to David? It seems like a missed opportunity.
And it seems so unlike Microsoft because usually when Microsoft wants to go in on something, they want to cover all the bases. They want you to use Microsoft for everything. Um, the one thing, Microsoft money, they gave up. They said, okay, everyone wants to use Quicken. We won't fight on money because we're just bad at that. But everything else, when they want you to use their platform, they want you to use their platform. And they're clearly invested in UC. I mean, the effort they put behind Teams is just amazing, and the money they're spending on AI for Teams is just amazing. And the partnerships, I mean, we got Teams on Cisco devices now. Obviously, they're very serious about the space, and they don't care about where we're gonna sit when we get to the office and sit down and use the rest of the Microsoft platform. It seems like such an obvious thing for them to do.
It
That
does.
and
We've got
events.
absolutely, and of course, the live events is now covered in Teams premium licensing, I think. So there's been a rework of that, but by and large, it hasn't really been advertised in the way that it has, like Maybelline filters, for goodness sake, or avatars, or all the
Well,
hip, trendy things that you want to do with your background.
worse
Yet
than that,
there's
it's
all,
not. It's a
yeah,
misnomer. It's live events. That's not an event thing. That's big webinars, which is a
yeah,
great thing to have. Of course, you have to have big webinars. Their customers are going to love it. Nothing against big webinars, but events platform. That's a different thing. That I expect a lobby. I expect the chat. I expect the stuff you see with the Socio that Cisco has that we experienced together. You were remote and I was in person, and we used it, and the Zoom app, and Ring Central has the Hopin. Those are events platforms. Those are not just big webinars. And Microsoft, when I attended Microsoft remotely, it was on an events platform, and everyone was saying, "What are we on? Is this a secret development Microsoft thing? Are they using a competitor? Or what? What did Microsoft Ignite happen on? No one knows. It was the mystery events platform."
No, and it seems weird with the reservation systems because there's the likes of Condeco and Cadence and Deskbird and others that are really sort of specialists in this area. And Microsoft did announce partnerships with it, and they were going to do like an RSVP capability and an Outlook request, so you could say that I'm in the office, and it would show that I'm in the office on certain days, and that would be passed through the whole system. And David could see when I'm in the office and either try to avoid me or sit next to me on a Monday. All of that capability is it's not in there's no plans. It's missing, and yet you've got Logitech with their desk booking system. You've got Crestron with their desk scheduling system. You have got who else? WebEx with their hot desking solution that integrates with
Neat.
Control Hub, and you've got that QR scanning capability, so you can make that desk space yours. You've got Zoom with their workspace reservation system. So
I think Neat
there's
has a
clearly a
solution.
need. Yeah.
Neat has one.
But maybe, I was thinking about this earlier, David, maybe Microsoft felt the engineering resource was too much, and they might have struggled to find a way of monetizing it. That could be the reason why. But it's still, we're still waiting, and it's been a year now.
Well, then then they could partner with Neat or Cisco or something, and have an integration with Teams, because there needs to be some sort of integration with Teams and scheduling. And one of the things is, I could see if they were like, hey, we just spent $10 billion on AI. We don't have another $10 billion to spend on another big thing. But this is not a $10 billion spend. This is not rocket science. I mean, I happen to have it ready because I just met with Crestron. This was not planned. But this thing, and I joke, I like this thing too much because this was easy for Crestron. It's the same software they use for room reservation. They put it for desktop. They got a little thing. It glows red and green, so that I love it because I like things that look like Star Trek. A little QR code, and they zap it. And the power behind it isn't just, oh, great, I can just kind of point my phone. Now it's going to be my desk at 3 o'clock. Great. No social anxiety that I'm taking someone else's space. But all the data goes to, facilities, and they could say, oh, no one's using the third floor, or we're using the whatever room, all that whole discussion that we have, especially since we haven't figured out the whole return to office thing. You need all that data of what spaces are being used at what times, and what are we doing right and what are we doing wrong. And I would think that Microsoft would be like, oh, we got this.
It is sad. It just feels like that piece of capability that is missing from the whole hybrid story. One thing that we did find out that in terms of hybrid, one thing that we did find out recently in our future work study at Omdia is that mobile phone usage has increased by 33%, and desk phone usage has decreased by 26%. So there's clearly a move towards people gearing up for hybrid working, but you still need a desk to sit at, even if you're using a mobile phone. So it just feels like something's missing. And I had hoped to hear something at Ignite, but there was nothing. So who knows, maybe Enterprise Connect in March might be a time that Nancy walks on stage and announces something. I'm not sure. It will be clearly evident that they've pulled away from this if nothing's mentioned. So I'm there with bated breath.
Yeah, but meanwhile, our friends at Zoom are probably sitting there going, Tim and David are right. This is a very important thing, and we have it. Come check us out. So, they should, Zoom should jump on this opportunity for as long as they have this advantage, and the other solutions that are out there. Because once Microsoft enters the space, everything gets so much harder.
Definitely. And that's where I'm seeing a lot of competitors to Microsoft being very clever in the way in which they're differentiating. So we're seeing a clear move towards multicas, the unified communications and contact center as a service platform offering, so that you can integrate the front office with the back office, apply AI to the whole of that platform from customer cases all the way through to back office support, for example. That's something that Microsoft clearly doesn't do. The contact center capability, they've got voice queuing for Teams, but they've, despite having Microsoft Dynamics, the CRM play, they haven't really got a formal SKU or a formal offering
Yeah.
for contact center. You have to build your own using Azure or rely on a partner. So we're seeing a lot of competitors playing and turning up the messaging around those sorts of areas that Microsoft don't do. This is one of those areas where they clearly aren't as far into their product roadmap as perhaps they hoped, or clearly as far as most of their competitors are.
Yeah.
So we're seeing this sort of differentiation playing out in a lot of ways with Microsoft's competitors.
Yeah, and it's just an advantage for the competitors, for now. Um, it, it's interesting. You expect them to go all in, right? You really expect them to want everything. With contact center is a little bit different. A couple of years ago, I could have not only excused it, I could have understood it. I could have said, when you say to me, "Oh, get contact center as part of the whole UC package," you're just saying that because you want me to buy all your stuff. There's no real reason that I need to have contact center from the same vendor that I have chat and video and UC, all that. You're just, this whole platform thing is whatever. I'm not buying it. But now, after the demos that I've seen this year with the current generation of AI, yes, I need my contact center to be on the same platform. I mean, you saw the same demos that I did. You're in the contact center, you're an agent, somebody has a question, you flip a tab over to chat and you bring in your expert. It has to be on the same platform. So Microsoft being able to say, "Oh, just get contact center from whoever you like contact center from, or build your own or do whatever and still use Teams for everything." That's a tougher pitch now. If I'm using Zoom contact center, come on. What am I going to use on my desktop?
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting as well is I firmly believe that Microsoft is running out of growth opportunities in terms of revenue. And this is the reason why so many times you're seeing these new premium SKUs across the board and things like Copilot licensing at $30 per user per month. And that's just, we could do 6 sessions on Copilot licensing and still not be any the wiser or clearer for our viewers. But I have a feeling that Microsoft is under significant commercial pressure to increase the ARPU, the average revenue per user. So I can't understand why they haven't got a contact center offering. I can't understand why they haven't added an additional capability into premium to make it more attractive with perhaps Microsoft Places. I don't know, but I just not too sure on where the growth is going to come from for Microsoft. And I just don't understand why they're not accelerating some of their feature roadmap compared to others.
I think part of it might be that all the best, smartest people at Microsoft want to work on the Copilot projects because those are the sexiest projects. And
or the
that
Maybelline
has
filters, or the Minecraft backgrounds, or the avatars. I don't know, the fun stuff. I'm not sure, but fun stuff is great.
But it doesn't drive. Would you want to work on Copilot? I want to be on the Copilot team, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, that's getting the most attention at the moment for sure.
And I think that answers part of the question of the revenue thing. We showed a chart in a previous stream that showed they make this much revenue from Windows and this much from Azure and this much from Xbox, and we both kind of think they want Copilot to be a big chunk. I think they're looking at Copilot, and I think they think that's going to be a bigger chunk than anything they can get out of contact center or whatever else. But like you were saying, they still need it for this platform pitch that we weren't buying last year. We're buying it now. I want all that stuff on the same platform. I want the desktop reservation, contact center, chat, video. I really want that now.
And bearing in mind that every other vendor, well, I shouldn't say every, I shouldn't use absolutes. Most other vendors are offering AI at no additional cost. So you look at Zoom, Cisco, and pretty much everyone else. That intelligent meeting summary and recaps, all of those sorts of things are there at no extra cost.
Is it for
So
Cisco? I'm not sure.
I believe it is. I
I'm
believe
not
it's at no extra cost
100%
for
on that.
WebEx. Maybe we need to confirm that.
I'm
Yeah.
not 100%.
Okay. Although
But
Zoom is
Zoom is for
leading the
sure.
charge there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
makes
not.
it tougher to justify a Copilot license.
It
I
does.
mean,
Yeah, it does. So especially when you look at Zoom's portfolio and the way in which they are looking at the whole unified communications and unified communications and collaboration portfolio on a single platform. It's extremely powerful. And if I was Microsoft, I would be worried. So yeah, we'll see how things
well,
go. There's enough
one
room
thing
for
that
everyone in this market, but
one
yeah,
positive thing from Microsoft that would make me, I don't know, not worried, but less worried or feeling positive is when I was in those Ignite sessions, I was watching the chat a lot, and there was not a lot of comments about why are you charging so much for Copilot? I don't want to pay that. Why is Zoom free? I didn't see any of that. What I saw was how can I get it? How take there's a meme. Oh, I wish I had it up here, but there's a meme from a cartoon Futurama that has the cartoon character holding out a handful of money and saying, "Please take my money." And that's what I saw in the chat at Microsoft Ignite. I saw businesses, especially businesses that have less than however many people you need to have to get Copilot. It's limited to big businesses at this point. Say, when can small businesses? I'm a medium-sized business. I want this. Take my money. Take my money. Um, that's a good problem to have. To have thousands of companies, in a public forum saying, "Please take my money." So doing
it
something
is.
right.
And then if you get a competitor that says we have pretty much the similar functionality at no extra cost, it's well and good driving the market. But if it's fulfilled by someone that comes along and says, well, we like all that stuff, we're going to do it, and it's going to be no additional cost, then you can have market makers and market breakers. And I'm not sure, Microsoft are clearly making the market here, but if they're opening the door and driving through their competitors that will come along and charge nothing for the same sort of features, then it's going to be very interesting in 2024 to see how this plays out.
It really will. I mean, for a brand new company, yeah, I'll go with the if I like Zoom as much as Teams, they're both video, they're both chat, I'll go with the one that has the free AI. But if I'm an existing Teams customer, don't want to switch or just pay more.
Might not want to switch, but you might want to have contact center, or you might want to have webinars, or you might want to have live events done properly, or you might. So this is why it's interesting that in surveys that we've run, there's only 11% of enterprises that have consolidated on a single platform. So there's plenty of room for everyone else. It's working out who does what the best, and what the business cases are and what the use cases are.
That's fair. Because if I have 100,000 people and you come to me and say, "Hey, your people are using Teams. I got one really good reason for you to switch to WebEx," I'd be like, "Okay. See, I have 2 reasons. I have 3 reasons. I have 4 reasons. Now I'm listening. That's a lot of value there. That might be worth switching my 100,000 people." Anything else on return to office? You sent me some notes before. I thought was interesting. Should we? And it ties into the discussion we're having with the reservation system. People are saying that we're not going back to normal, and I think that wasn't normal. I think we're not going back to weirdness. The idea of commuting every day and sitting at a desk from 9 to 5, whether your brain is in work mode or not, and it not mattering about the productivity in the project, but just matter how much your butt is in the seat. The amount of time that I spent sitting in a car driving from the middle of New Jersey to Manhattan, if I had a job for a year, and I would sit there and say, "This is the least productive thing I can imagine," and I'd look at all the other cars. It's crazy. That wasn't normal, and we're not going back to it.
No, and we've heard it throughout the years. It's years now. Justify my commute. People having to take a laptop from home. Sometimes jump in a car in the UK. It's a lousy trip on public transport if you can get a seat. Going into an office and then having Teams calls at your desk when you think I could be doing this at home, and maybe not seeing any colleagues because you haven't got a room-based reservation system, and you don't know when they're going to be in the office next. And then having the drudge of the commute home and thinking, what did I just do that for? It can be soul destroying. And I think what happened with COVID is people had a bit of a wake up call in terms of work life. I never say balance, I say integration. People started looking at ways in which they can integrate work and life in better ways, and working out what's important in their life. And 2-3 hours commute every day is wasted time. And you sort of, no matter how many podcasts you listen to, it's still a drudge. I think people are sort of waking up to the fact that maybe hybrid working is the way for me personally. I think offices and employers are realizing we can't mandate this the wholesale return to the office anymore. How can we justify it when it makes no sense? It makes no business sense to do.
It's funny. I was worried that I might be overstating things because I get dramatic, but then you said it was soul destroying. Okay. It's not just me. It really is a bad thing. And the question I think that everyone's afraid to ask is, it seems that we seem to have settled, because we don't want to offend no, we like the 9 to 5 people. There's some people out there who think that's the way it should be, especially the people who are paying for that office space and want to see people sitting there. We settled on 3 days in the office, 2 days off, or 3 days off, 2 days at the office, or 4 days in the office, 1 day off. That kind of a thing. So let's say you're a 3 and 2 person. Those 3 days that you're driving into the office, is the commute justified all 3 days, or is it just, hey, I'm happy that at least I'm getting the 2 days at home. I'm not going to fight for more. I'll take the 2. I mean, is this just because we're afraid of the reality that we only really need to be there 1 day, and we don't want to push the boat too much, or is no, 3's right?
Well, one thing that is interesting is the ghost towns or ghost cities on a Monday and a Friday, because if it's down to your personal choice, you're not going to go in on a Tuesday, Wednesday. You're not going to go in on a Monday and Friday over a weekend. It's crazy to do that. So people are sort of spending the Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in the office, and then sort of bookmarking the weekends with working from home.
Well, that's not really flex, though. I mean, flex is, right, oh, maybe I come in on a Monday, maybe I come in on Thursday if something's happening. If we're just working Tuesday through Thursday, it's just, instead of a 5-day work week, we have a 3-day work week, and two days at home. It's not, I mean, it's still 2 days less commuting, so it's a step in the right direction. But it feels like we're just afraid to change too much too quickly. I mean, in 5 years, you think we're going to still be doing 3-2, or you think it's just going to be? I think some people are just going to be completely remote. Not everyone.
Yeah, I think in 5 years' times, businesses will work out what metrics they need to measure and make sure that people adhere to those, rather than I need to see your backside in a seat for the next X number of hours, rather than produce these reports, produce these widgets, come up with this idea. Basically, I think businesses have been measuring the wrong thing for so many times. It's attendance. It's like when you went to school and they took the register, you didn't get any marks for attendance. You had to sit your SATs, or you had to sit tests and exams. You didn't get any marks for attendance. It was all down to exams and what tests you could pass. You didn't get any marks for sitting on your seat from whatever time to whatever time.
And you shouldn't. I remember, actually, God, this stuck with me. In first grade, I got an award at the end of the year for perfect attendance. And in second grade, I didn't get that award because I had been sick and missed a couple of days. I had a cold. I missed a couple of days. And I felt like that shouldn't be penalized. This shouldn't be. And I shouldn't have been rewarded in the first place. I didn't do anything special. Attendance. Listen to the way I'm saying the word, like with disdain. Attendance, attendance has nothing to do with performance. That's what we should be focusing on. And
absolutely. So did that end up on your resume, that first year attendance?
I was a little disappointed. Another major life disappointment. In elementary school, they always talked about your permanent record. This is going to be on your permanent record. So whenever I did anything good, I was really excited because it's going to be on my permit. There's no such thing. I went to look. You can't go to the file and say I'd like to see my permanent record and open up a file and see it. There's no such thing. So yeah,
Yeah,
if
strange.
if I had a permanent record, that would be on it, and I'd be very proud of it. But
Yeah, but I think you're right. It's performance versus attendance. It's going to be performance all the time. So hopefully we'd have worked out what measurements matter when it comes to business, and
yeah.
not just where you sit and where you do your work.
And even if you still are into attendance, it used to be, well, I can't monitor what you're doing at home. You can now. You totally can now. There's all sorts of software. If you're my boss, you could know when I'm in my seat. Not only that, you could know what I have open on my desktop. You could know if I'm in Excel or if I'm in Words, if I'm doing my spreadsheet or if I'm doing my writing. You can know how many hours I've had it open. If I'm an agent, you could know how many calls I've taken. If I'm in a call right now, you could know everything I'm doing. Just actually not just as well, better than when it used to be at the office. When I used to be at the office, we didn't have these tools. We'd walk around desk to desk. I saw not to get political, but I'll share this with you after because it was so funny. One of our Congress people who's known for not knowing what they're talking about sometimes was harassing someone from our Social Security agency, some bureaucrat. We have a backlog on Social Security work. And the congressperson was saying, so since you've switched to remote work, you have a backlog because everyone's at home in their pajamas playing Xbox and you don't know what they're doing. And the bureaucrat said what I just said, I'm not going to repeat it all, and went through all the tools and was specific with the tools. I know to the minute what every employee is doing, and if they're not, and if I ping them and they don't answer on chat or phone or video or whatever I choose, they get in trouble. I mean, it was a whole thing. And it was funny to watch, but it also made the point that if you're still like, no, I pay for attendance. This is my company. I pay for attendance. Okay, you could do that remote. So, sorry, anything else?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground, from room-based reservation systems to avoiding work by going into the office. So
I'm still not sure what I want from that because I seem to be complaining about everything. I'm complaining about the idea of 5 days at the office. I'm complaining about the idea of 3 days at the office. I'm even complaining about one day if there's no reason to go in. I'm not sure what I really want. What I really want is there to be good reasons to go in. Taco Tuesday is a good reason. I want great reasons to come in. I want my team's going to be there and we're going to be doing things that we can't do remotely, and that's kind of hard to define sometimes. And I don't know if there's enough of that to justify 3 days a week.
no, you want that social connection. You want to go in for meaningful work that you can't do at home. You've got, in the same way that high street shops start thinking, what can we do that Amazon can't? You've got to start thinking, what can we provide in the office that people don't have at home? And once you sorted that out, then you'll have full desks, as long as you've got a reservation system to accommodate them.
Well, if you like the people that you're working with, just being around people that you like is enough. I mean, there have been times when I didn't feel like going to work, but I'm going to the office because my friends are there. The people I work with, I consider them my friends. That's a hard thing to do. But
Yeah.
for me, that would be the that's always been the top motivator. It's always going to be the people. All right. With that, should we wrap it up for the week?
Sounds good.
This
Yeah.
is a
Happy
fun show.
holidays to everyone. This is the last one before the holiday season, isn't it? So
Yes, that's
yeah.
right. That's right. Everyone have a great holidays, time with family. I'm hosting Christmas here. I'm going to be cooking a brisket. We're going to have family over. Not going to worry about work. It's going to be great. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. Take care.